Come on. Big up and warm welcome back to SportSentric. My name's Philly2109. I'm your host. And this afternoon we have me and Corey Boy. Big up, Corey. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, steady, mate. It's been a good day so far for football news, hasn't it? So
That's true. And with that, we're going to talk about the Premier League season that's starting tomorrow. We might even touch on some of the European leagues as well, some of the signings that are going to be over there and how they're going to set up for the season. But let's start with that lot down the road, I think. Let's start with and let's start with Arsenal. What are your thoughts on Arsenal this season and the signings they've made this summer, mate?
apart from Guimaraes, I haven't really seen them sign much that they need.
Solid.
They've already got a solid team, did they?
Yeah, solid on the left-hand side. And
did Corey buy a dog? No, Corey gave a dog a home. My friend's sister couldn't have him, and I took him.
But at least it answered the question from earlier.
For 7 months, so.
Yeah, but at least that answered your question from earlier, Alfred Bergs, and is Corey still on the show? There he is. But yeah, no, they got Solis from Club Brugge, I believe.
I forgot about that one as well. I mean, a player that I've been banging on about because I watched the Belgium league for God knows how long, and he ends up at Arsenal. So they've literally picked up someone that has nearly 80 GA in 2.5, 3 seasons in Belgium. So very, very tidy player, and he also set up the goal to Arsenal win the Charity Shield last weekend. So
that's not a bad debut, mate, is it? Really and truly setting up.
Not really. You've come in and you've won a medal already. I mean, all right, it's only the Din Plate Shield, you know.
Yeah.
Pre-season friendly for the Premier League, but normally the team that goes off and wins that is the one that always ends up bloody winning it.
Agreed. Should have bought Tomori. What's that?
Tomori, isn't he off to Aston Villa?
Yeah, Tomori's coming in to replace Ezri Konsa because Konsa's on the brink of going to Arsenal. So Aston Villa are looking at
Konsa's cack.
Yeah, no, but they need to replace Saliba, innit? Saliba is out after his back injury in the semi-final against Spain, innit?
Oh, yeah.
So they need to get a replacement for him because he's going to be out for about 4 or 5 months, mate. He's going to be out.
That's why they were sniffing around Romero.
Yeah, that was never happened.
Should have sold them to them and then tarnish him as the new Sol Campbell.
Oh, no. That would have been too much, I think. Nah. I'm happy that Romero is going to Atletico Madrid, mate. I said he'd go there when.
It's working for him for about 2 seasons, hasn't he? He's working his ass off to Madrid.
Well, we'll talk about.
I'm happy he's gone. I'm glad he's gone.
We'll talk about Romero when we get to Tottenham, but let's talk about the so they've got Solis and they've got Bruno Guimaraes, and they're very close to getting Ezri Konsa, and then there's talk of them getting a left winger as well to basically replace Martinelli because Martinelli is basically surplus to requirements. They've already sold Trossard already, and that's who Solis came to replace. And now they're looking to get someone an upgrade to Martinelli, and that would be the Arsenal window done, I think. So they're not really replacing too much or upgrading too much. They were looking at.
I thought they were after a striker as well because, yeah.
Well, there's talk about Julian Alvarez, isn't it? But I think that Julian Alvarez, is more likely to go to Barcelona. But watch this space. We've only got a week left, but I just have this feeling that Barcelona and him aren't finished yet. But that's just going on gut feeling.
Barcelona really need to sign players while they turn out superstars every other year from La Masia. They don't really need to do it.
No, they need a striker. They need a striker. They sold Ferran Torres to PSG, and we'll talk about that one. We'll talk about PSG.
Yeah, that was an opportunity missed.
Agreed. 50 million as well for the World Cup, for the goal scorer in the World Cup final. That's a very good deal. Also, we have a brand new striker. Also, we need a brand new striker. Oh, sorry. Barcelona find their money somewhere, mate. Trust me. They've got that bid put down here since the start of the summer.
Barcelona, like Real Madrid, are funded off the state. Real Madrid more so off of the royal family, but
but Barcelona have money. Do not listen to them people saying they haven't got money. They've got money. They've already spent 20 million on Adeyemi.
They haven't got money, but they've regenerated their stadium to make it bigger and get more fans in. So they've got money.
Yeah, and they let the TV. Then they sold the TV rights as well to themselves. So they got money.
Can I sell my left hand to my right hand to make a bit of cash?
Yeah, no. but yeah, never underestimate Barcelona. But yeah, let's talk about Aston Villa. They've had a summer where they've sold the likes of Morgan Rogers. Tillemans is gone. Contract after Man United paid out his release clause. You've got Digne, who's going to PSG because they paid out his release clause. You've got Ezri Konsa obviously going to Arsenal. And you have, let me get it right.
Okay, yeah. They sold the stadium off to Spotify, but just imagine how much money Spotify make to be able to sponsor that team now. That's like advanced rights for one of the top teams in Europe.
But what I would give Aston Villa though is they've actually replaced like for like as well. It's not as good as what they had, but I think they've actually replaced near enough whatever they've lost. But and it'll be up to Emery to try and get the best out of it. But Johan Mamdani, the Switzerland cam in the World Cup, I felt he had a very good tournament. He was injured for the last 2 games for Switzerland, so he didn't play against Argentina. But I thought he had a very good tournament. And I think he was and he was 70 million signing for them, and they signed him before the let go of Morgan Rogers. Then you have is it Regani? Regani, who played Atletico Madrid, Italian defender, left back. They just signed him this week.
I mean, I've not really seen many of the transfers this week. I've been pretty busy. I've only been really keeping an eye on Tottenham and Brighton, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I always look at the other transfers, mate. That way you've got a good knowledge of what's happening around you. So I pay attention to most of the transfers around the Premier League. Yeah, you go.
Yeah, Ruggeri. He's a solid player.
Yeah, they bought him from Atletico Madrid.
We were linked to him at one point.
Yep.
And then we kind of sniffed our noses at that one. He's going to be absolutely balling.
Agreed. Aston Villa made good signings for it. I think they underestimated a lot of their signings. And we saw some of them, I believe, in the Europa Super Cup final with PSG versus Aston Villa. We saw some of them. And you can see even though they didn't have Morgan Rogers, they were still fighting, and they got a new young forward as well again, who scored in that match as well. He's only a young guy, but he actually stood up in that game and he scored the Aston Villa goal. I can't remember the name of the striker, but I believe he has a bright future ahead of him. If he continues in this trajectory, that is. He has a bright future ahead of him. So Aston Villa are still in and around there. I wouldn't write them off totally. They're going to take time to gel, obviously, without the likes of Morgan Rogers there. But they still have the core of a good team in there.
Well, they've still got most of that team that won the trophy last year and finished high up in the table as well. So they've still got the core. It's just that they've lost 2 or 3 key players.
Yeah, and then
they've lost most of their midfield pretty much, like Newcastle. So.
Yeah, but we have to remember they also signed João Gomez from Wolves as well, which is another fantastic signing. That man there controls the midfield. That's a very good signing.
I would have taken him at Spurs, to be honest with you.
I very much agree on that. I would have taken him at Spurs. But yeah, we've talked about Aston Villa. Let's talk about Chelsea.
Nah, next. No one wants to talk about them pricks.
Thank you, Alfred Burton.
They've signed another 57, 15 to 16-year-olds with a triple-decker bus driving them to bloody training every day.
Yeah, but do you know what I do like about Chelsea? Yeah, they actually the way they did what they did to Arsenal here concerning Morgan Rogers, because he was linked with Arsenal from the start of the transfer window, and all of a sudden, just in not even 24 hours. It was just like, bang, here we go. They just dropped 170 million on him. It was just like, bang.
Leeds. I mean, they lost what, 3 goalkeepers? Leeds, did they not?
Yeah, but they also bought Trafford from Man City as well. Man City are going on a fire sale, mate.
I don't rate Trafford. I really don't.
That's a future England goalkeeper, mate. What we're doing here?
That's not the future England goalkeeper. If that is, then I'm worried.
That's a future England goalkeeper, mate. Trust me.
I'd rather take Pickford on crutches than put Trafford in goal. On a Zimmer frame. Sorry, mate, you're not allowed to retire until someone decent comes along.
You probably have Chris Wood in goal, to be fair, over that man there. You know what I mean? Go back to the 90s, yeah. Or get David Seaman to get in goal instead of having Bye in there. But nah, they've had some good signings, Leeds, as well. For Leeds, I'll be looking at like mid-table for them. Last season, they came up last season, if I'm correct. Yeah, the first season you're looking at getting survival. Second season, looking at really cementing yourself and heading towards mid-table. So that's what I would say. I'm looking at Leeds. But going back to Chelsea, yeah, I knew you were going to say that. They needed experience in that team, so they brought in Henderson and they brought in Danny Welbeck to add experience. And
nothing like scraping the retirement home. Oh wait, most of the Brighton squad play for Chelsea anyway, so it's like the Brighton B team. Cucurella's left, so you can't really call it a Brighton team anymore.
Oh yeah, we have to talk about. See, look, very good question, very good answer there. Actually, Brighton. We always have Brighton. That's true. Yeah, what are your thoughts on Brighton, Corey? Seeing that you're from them, and what are your thoughts on that team and their summer window?
I've always got a soft spot. They've done some business, but I mean, the core of the team is still there unless it starts getting rinsed for Belieber and they've been flirting with Belieber for 2 seasons, my friend. So if he goes there, he goes there. I mean, it's been quiet on the Brighton front because they've still got some very good young players coming up through the ranks. So again, they've got to find another striker after losing Welbeck. But then Brighton always seem to manage to pull a magic rabbit out of the hat somewhere, don't they? They always find the diamonds in the rough.
Agreed. They're very, very good at doing that. But are they in Europe as well this year, Brighton?
They are. Due to the coefficient and everything happening last season, 2 out of 3 teams won in European Cups. If Arsenal had won, it would have been 10 teams in Champions League, Europa Cup, and Conference League. It would have been 10 teams if this country whitewashed and took everything.
You think top 3 for Chelsea, mate? Alfred Bergson. Top 3. I still feel they're missing something, Chelsea. I like Lacroix at the back. I do like Maxence Lacroix. He is a very good defender. I think he's underrated in anything, Maxence Lacroix. I've liked Maxence Lacroix since the day I watched him at Wolfsburg alongside Mickey van der Ven. I think that he will marshal the Chelsea defence. But when you've got Roger Sanchez in goal, I would write out top 3. I think Chelsea would be lucky if they get in the top 5, mate. With that goalkeeper as well, I'd be saying 5th, 6th.
Oh, that's who Brighton have brought in. They brought in David Promise, have they?
There you go. That's not a bad
very, very tidy little striker from the Jupiter League. Very tidy little striker. I'm just looking through some of the. I mean, obviously we know about Luka Voskovic being Tottenham Sports. They've got Saduska Yakuzuma from Sweden. He's a very good young player as well. 19.
Yeah, I've found quite a few Swedish players because big up Alfred Bergson in the chat. Ayari, yeah, I do like Ayari as a midfielder. I think he's very energetic and very, very good midfielder. And I think that I do like their new approach when it comes to that. But we're going to talk about more about that when we talk about Tottenham as well, because there's more to talk about with that. But I could see like a little contingency growing there.
I mean, they've also got Fakade Bernute coming back, Brighton. They've got obviously, depending on how well Evan Ferguson decides to wake up, he could, step back into the Brighton reins after Welbeck leaving. But he had a pretty shit season in Italy, to be honest with you. They've also signed Rodrigo Rajaro from Benfica, well, their B team, but a very good young player as well.
Mm-hmm.
And they've also shored up their defence because obviously Donkey's getting on a bit now. So they've took Pascal Struck from Leeds, and they've gone and got Konstas from Olympiacos.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just looking at some of the players that they brought in that are actually decent. They brought in Diego Capada from Paris FC, a very tidy centre back. So yeah, I mean, some of the players that they brought in, but like the departures that Brighton have got going out. So far, Brighton is JP to Tottenham. Coles Runesworth has left for 25 million. A goalkeeper that if we would have picked up Bart Verbruggen, I would have thought Brighton would have kept him around. Cole Runesworth, he's a really good young keeper. Diego Capalia, a guy that they brought in from Italy on a free. They've sold him for 17 million. Welbeck for 6 million at 35, not bad.
Not bad.
Jeremy Sacramento's gone to Middlesbrough. Joel Wittmann has left on a free transfer and has gone to West Ham of all teams. Facundo Bayanute has gone to Elche FC on loan. Tommy Watson, another good young player at Brighton on loan. James Badil, another good young goalkeeper, he's gone on loan to Birmingham. And obviously they've got Rodrigo Rajal that they brought in, they've loaned back out because obviously Brighton are pretty stacked on the right wing at the moment. Adam Webster's without a club. Solly March was always injured. He's without a club. He's James Milner retired at 40.
It's finally pulled up his boots there at 40. Fair play to him. Yeah,
he's playing in the Premier League. Roddy, you need to get off, buddy. You're out of my neck now, bub.
Fun fact here. Big up Alfred Bergson. Fun fact: Ayari's marriage to Kulu's sister. Well, I didn't know that one, but yeah, thank you. But yeah, no, Brighton have had a fantastic summer, it sounds like, mate. They've got quite a few signings here. There's going to be a lot of skepticism until we see them play. But Huntelaar is a very good manager. And I heard him during the World Cup as well. The way the man speaks, I have to commend him as a manager. He's very
clued in manager as well. I mean, Brighton, they always seem to replace a good manager with a good manager.
Especially when you factor his age as well, because when he came from Germany, the second division, Bundesliga 2, people weren't really he wasn't really a household name, and people kind of were skeptical about him.
And his age as well. I mean, they were going on about his age, but yeah, he's a very good manager. Very good manager.
Agreed. He's proved himself, and age is not a factor when you prove yourself like he had. And he's earned his respect, and I'll always commend people for that. Right, so we got to B, we got to C. Let's talk about.
There are no D's in the league because the only one I can think of is Derby County.
I can think of an E. Everton.
Who? Do they want Richie back?
Well, I'll give him Richie back. but make sure we
don't give us a fee. You can just have him.
No.
You ripped us off. You can have him back for nothing.
Yeah, I'll give him back for nothing. But make sure we get Mamouche through the door. We have to learn from Johnson. Yeah, we can't be selling strikers about having a striker in the building first.
Johnson was shit.
I know he was, but then
it wasn't Johnson's goal. It was an own goal by Luke Shaw, and I've got the proof.
I agree with you. Apparently, it didn't flick off his studs and go in the goal. I agree with you. But unfortunately, what Spurs did is when they sold Johnson, they didn't buy a right winger, so we had no right wingers going into the end of the season. So
we didn't need it. It was all right. Came together.
But you still need to have cover before you start selling your players. That's the one I will agree with a lot of fans where they say you need to make sure you have your thing before you start selling your players. Make sure you have your striker cover coming before you start selling your shares. Oh, big. But yeah, let's talk about Everton. Yeah, Yeah, Brendan Johnson coming in for Dwight McNeil for Crystal Palace.
Shit for shit.
Not even 6. Can I just say this now? Not even 6 months. Wow. They got him for 35 million in January, and
cheers for the money. Cheers for the money, guys. Palace fans were calling him the worst transfer signing ever. I even said that it would be a shit for them. But he scored lots of goals for Tottenham because he tapped them in. He didn't score any worldies, did he?
No, they're all tap-ins. They're all 5 yards out, or well, not far out from the goal. So yeah,
the Happy Gilmore thing, innit? Tap it in, just tap it in, tap it in. How he ever got as a professional football player, I don't know. Maybe living off of his dad's name, but for fuck's sake, at least be good at football.
But unfortunately, yeah, this man is not good. His touch is awful. Do you know what? I think that was the best bit of business Spurs did in January, was to sell the guy.
I've seen murderers with better first touch.
Oh God, I'm not even going to mention first touches of quite a few players, but yeah, he's just not very good.
Like I just said, I've seen murderers with first touch are better than Johnson.
Agreed, sir. Agreed, sir.
Tap it in. Hang on. They've also got their nice new stadium that isn't anywhere nice. Just shit by the river.
Yeah, but then do you know what? Yeah, I do like David Moyes as a manager. He actually has one. He has got winning pedigree. He won the Europa Conference League with West Ham, so he's got a winning mentality of winning a trophy. I do like the way that he, as a manager, he sets his team up, but he's also defensive. And I'm watching how they play, and I think they're going to use Johnson, as like counter. They're going to go counter-attacking. That's basically what they're going to do with Johnson, isn't it?
They're going to use Johnson to bring the teas to the players. The slice of orange at half time. He's going to be the bag boy. It's going to be what the youth players used to have to do back in my day: clean the first team players with toothbrushes, boots with toothbrushes.
Agree. Yeah. I would make him clean the boots with toothbrushes.
I wouldn't let him anywhere near a fucking football pitch. Timu version Bale with none of the skill, none of the drive, and none of the quality. Timu version Bale.
But Johnson, but remember now, Johnson ole, yeah.
What was Nottingham's for summer? Like, they're really going slow because of the money that they got from selling a certain player. So they're like, well, we better not go too hard because we want,
100.
We got money now.
We will talk about Alpha Bergson, I promise you. We will mention Nottingham Forest. We will talk about Nottingham Forest, I promise you. We're just going to get to Nottingham Forest. But right now we're at Everton. So
we forgot Coventry. We forgot Fat Frank's team, Coventry.
Oh, yeah.
Runesworth, what a goalkeeper. You're going to see it next season. I even told you about Runesworth 2 seasons ago at Brighton when you asked me about him. Very level-headed goalkeeper. Very, very professional at his age as well.
Do you know who I like here? And I actually watched him last season for Coventry, and that's Haji Wright, the United States forward striker. Unfortunately, he didn't get much game time in America. He got a few minutes in a couple of games, but he didn't really get his chance to establish himself over there because they were playing Balogun instead of him. But I actually looked at the glasses. Yeah, you know the one that's apparently is not good enough for Spurs. Balogun, that one there.
That ex-Arsenal twat. Yeah, that one.
Yeah, he scored 13 goals last season. Record with the Pigeon, by the way.
Same amount as the Pigeon. Well, what we doing? I thought we were trying to sign someone that scores more than the Pigeon, not the same as the Pigeon.
No. In his record-breaking season, Corey, don't go anywhere. He scored 13 goals last season, Balogun in the League and in Champions League, by the way. And 13 goals is the magical number of the Pigeon's most prolific season. 13 goals, and that's a one-off season from Balogun. So, yeah, I would have Balogun over the Pigeon most times because I think that he is more reliable as a goal scorer, but that's just me. And
I would have a broken toaster up front than fucking the pigeon. I would have a slice of bread on the halfway line.
Well, actually,
for him.
Actually, you know what? Yeah, that actually might not be offside like the pigeon is most of the time. But anyway, all right.
I agree with you. Sol Campbell is a legend. I can take my I hate Campbell hat off and say what a fucking player he was.
Agreed.
Tottenham hat on. What a fucking cunt. Hat off. What a good player.
And I can understand why he went. Tottenham hat off. I can understand why he left to go to Arsenal, even though I didn't agree with it at the time. I can understand why he left. I didn't agree with him going to Arsenal, but he wanted to win.
Imagine if we'd kept Campbell. We'd had Campbell and King at the back.
It felt like when I remember back to that time, it felt like it was a smooth transition. So Campbell left to go to Arsenal. Within a year or two, King come through, and it was like, so who for Tottenham? Because Ledley King was such a brilliant defender. It's unfortunate that he had his knee injury, because that knee injury, he could have been anything. With two knees, he could have been a world beater, because with one knee and training, not even training in the week, basically playing match day, playing for England with one knee is fantastic, and fair play to Ledley King. He is the pinnacle of what it means to be Tottenham Hotspur. I think after Gary Mabbutt, I would say he is the closest to, if you cut him in half, he would be Tottenham. That's just me with Ledley King.
Tottenham down to the bone.
Right, and I feel that with Ledley King. Even now, he's working at the club as an ambassador, I believe. So that's how much love he has for the club. But Coventry. The question is, will Haji Wright score the amount of goals they need to get them away from relegation? Because most of the time, the three teams that go up are the three teams that go down.
I can see Coventry being mid-table this year. My pick for going down, my main pick for this year is Newcastle going down.
You think so?
Yeah. They can't seem to sign anyone, and three of their best players have left. Their midfield is shot, and all they've got left is the failed striker as a midfielder now. So,
all right, we're going to talk about Newcastle when we get to end.
They've got Lewis Hall. And that's it. They've got no one that can bang in the goals. Their midfield's gone. Their defence is aging. Their goalkeeper is shocking.
Right, you've got Nick.
And the manager left.
That one, I knew why he left there, because there was no way that he said that he wasn't going to sell Bruno Guimaraes, and the moment they said that they're going to sell Bruno Guimaraes, then Eddie Howe was out the door, innit? It's a bit like Poch angle, with Gallagher. Once Poch realised Gallagher was going, Poch said, nah, I can't be here, I don't want to manage the club. So fair play to Eddie Howe. I think he'd be the next England manager, to be fair. And he's not the greatest manager, but he's won the trophy for Newcastle. And a couple of years ago with Newcastle, because Newcastle...
After these years, it'd be nice to have an English manager in charge of England,
Agreed. Very much agreed, man. I'm not a fan of Tuchel, as you know from the World Cup. I'm not a fan of his. But I
don't mind Tuchel. The fact that I wanted Tuchel 3 seasons ago before we got Ange says a lot that I rate him. As a club manager. As an international manager, no. Club manager, yeah.
I just find his tactics overly negative, man. I think that he deliberately goes out there to basically startle the opposition and then basically hit them on the counter and try and nick a 1-0 or 2-0. But each manager to their own. That's just me with Tuchel. I just find it overly negative. But I look at
with most modern managers nowadays, they all try to play counter-attacking, anti-football.
Yeah, true. And Arteta. But I just see it more in him in Thomas Tuchel. Even when I looked at the World Cup, I felt that with England, you're 1-0 up, and why automatically drop back and invite the opposition to attack? That's what happened. And Argentina did the rest of it. But
I mean, I knew there was nothing to play for, the third and fourth place positions. But if we'd played like that against Argentina, we would have won.
Yeah, but there was like you said, there was no pressure in the game, and you also have to factor in. This is the best bit of the World Cup, that Deschamps got sacked afterwards, because he was leaving before the tournament, but Boom Voyage with Deschamps, because that man there was a bad manager for France as well. He won the World Cup, and for me, yeah, he should have left after winning the World Cup in 2018. When he lost the Euro semi-final to Spain, and I said that at the time, I said I didn't like that game there. And I thought Yamal, was kind of a haunting figure towards Deschamps, especially France, after that goal he scored in that semi-final, that cracker. I thought, you know what, that man there has something over France, and somehow when we play Spain, he seems to have some good game, Yamal, and I felt that he would be the difference maker. And him and Rodri were the difference makers for them anyway in that game anyway. But we'll talk about Barcelona. We will talk about them quickly. But Coventry. Let's talk about Fulham. Fulham have lost Harry Wilson, big up Alfred Bergson to Leeds United, which was kind of a stunning deal because it's a bit confusing to see why you would go from Fulham, who I think Fulham, did they qualify for Europe?
No.
I'm not sure. But why would you leave Fulham, to go to Leeds United? That's a kind of a weird move, but maybe he's got roots up there.
Maybe it's roots. Maybe it's money. Maybe it's a better manager. Who knows? I mean, Fulham lost their manager this year. A lot of managers have left and gone elsewhere. So maybe he thought, right, if my manager's gone, I don't want to be here.
That's true. Well, that could be the same thing with Rodri and Man City, but we will talk about that one as well. But it could well be the case that Harry Wilson and Marco Silva did play a massive part in where Fulham were. And they signed Oscar Bob in January.
Hasn't Marco Silva gone abroad now?
Yeah, he went to Benfica, I believe it is. He went to replace Jose Mourinho, innit? Because Mourinho went to Real Madrid. So he's gone over there. And Benfica just, I think they sold a player the other day, actually, Benfica.
Yeah, it's just one of them things. You had, obviously, what's his name? Leave Palace and go to Nottingham Forest, which I found a weird one. You've just won stuff with Palace. Now you've gone to Nottingham Forest that have done nothing really since they've been promoted. Yeah, I mean, I've just got to question some of these managers. Like, you're leaving Palace, as much as I hate Palace, to go to Nottingham Forest. To go to Nottingham Forest that have done fuck all in 10 years. So...
Yeah, that's actually the driver's looking at the money, innit? Compared to Crystal Palace, Nottingham Forest will be offering him more money to grab more signings that he actually wants, innit? That's probably what I'm looking at. That's probably what Glasner said, you know what? While I can get a certain place of Crystal Palace, I can get further with Nottingham Forest. So it's more of a stepping stone, isn't it, for him? But then there wasn't many jobs available in Germany for him. So
he did want to go back to Germany, but like you said, there weren't that many top clubs that had a position open. It was all the lower league teams, and he doesn't want to be a lower when he's just done pretty much a cup double, hasn't he? With the FA Cup and the Europa Cup. No, the Conference League, sorry.
The Conference League and then the Conference League last year and the FA Cup the year before. Yeah, you wouldn't want to go down to and no disrespect to Mainz, but you wouldn't want to go from Crystal Palace to Mainz. You want to go to somewhere like a Borussia Dortmund or a Bayern Munich or
Leverkusen.
Something like that where you can actually upskill rather than say the same way. But Nottingham Forest are a step up from Crystal Palace, so maybe he just must go there for a little while. And
no, what it is because Nottingham Forest have spending power because they've got an owner who's rich, whereas Crystal Palace, they really do struggle to generate the money because their stadium's ancient. They can't build that shit piece of Crawley anywhere or near that part of fucking London to save them lives, to save their lives. The stadium is crap. The players that they bring in, some of them are very good. I mean, I was banging on about Adam Walton 4 years ago now when he was at Blackburn, and I got told to shut up in group chat. So I was like, okay, obviously I don't know what I'm talking about. You watch this kid though; he's going to be special.
He is special. You know what? I'm actually surprised. Do you know what I heard the other day, Corey? And that was actually weird with Crystal Palace, and it was they actually surprised.
Phil, no one can hear you, buddy.
Why do people?
No, he's gone, ladies and gentlemen.
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Oh,
you went completely then for everything you were
sorry,
saying. It was
man.
just silence.
I don't know why people ring you at the wrong time, man. It's like you're around at church here. Somebody rings you in the middle of a mass. It's like, don't ring me. I'm in the cinema watching a movie. Don't ring me. Don't ring me.
Oh, when I get to the cinema, my phone goes off. I don't care. The outside world is dead to me when I go to the cinema.
I am so
I mean,
busy.
the last thing I went to go and watch was Minions versus Monsters with my son, and that was absolutely fantastic. So.
Oh, yeah, thank you, Alpha Bergson. Yeah, Diamond from Sporting Lisbon. Oh, yeah.
Caliamendo, Solskjaer on a free, and Luca Net. Yeah, I mean, Luca Nets is a fucking good young player as well. I like Luca Nets.
Yeah, Diamande, yeah, is a very good, strong defender. But
Are we talking about the one that's playing in Portugal? That Diamande?
yeah, you know I'm gonna
Yeah,
say but
yeah. He's solid, quick, strong, good in the air, good in the tackle, good with the
yeah,
pass. I wanted him before we started moving for others, and as soon as we got JP and Senesi, I was like, "Yep, all right, Diamande can stay there now." I've got the two best defenders in the Premier League for progression of ball passing and tackling, heading. There we go.
I like Diamande. He is, like you said, he's everything that you said he is: strong, powerful.
And he's only young. He's only
I
what,
know,
21, 22
I
now?
know. But I'm gonna say this now, Corey. Here it comes. The temperament. It's the temperament of Diamande.
But he'll learn that with age. With age comes experience.
I would hope so. I would hope so for him because I watched the game of Sporting Lisbon where he actually got himself sent off in the 90th minute and it actually cost them big time. Where I believe the other team scored a penalty and they actually won the game. And I'm looking at him and I'm thinking, mate, there was no need for you to make a rash challenge or to lose your control of yourself. If you hadn't lost control, you may well have come out of a draw. But you're young and you're exuberant. Maybe you will learn that with age. Hopefully, you'll learn to get that out of the game, iron that out of the game.
Otherwise, you end up like Romero.
Yeah, it's not as bad as Romero, no. But yeah, the temperament would be the worrying angle for me. Colamundo is a good player. I'm not too sure about Lucas Nets, but you seem to say he's good, so I'll have to watch a bit of him. But yeah, we'll talk about Nottingham Forest when we get to the end, man. We're still at the F, bro. We're still talking about Fulham, man. Just finished them. So, let's talk about Leeds and their fantastic summer. Alfred Bergson, it'd be just so nice if you could put some of the Leeds signings in there. I know that they've made, what's his name? Harrison is one of their signings. But they've had an extraordinary window. That's what I've been told. They've had an extraordinary window.
Well, they've completely rebuilt their team, haven't they? Because I mean, they've had 3 goalkeepers go. A few of their defenders left. Some of their midfielders went, and they're like, "Okay, great. Now we've got to sit here and rebuild." And they've rebuilt quite strongly.
That's a nice. That's what you want, though, isn't it? You want that progression. So you had a certain stereotype before you. You had a certain team before you. They managed to survive in the Premier League. So now you want to make the step up. So you're going to have to get better quality players in. The likes of Harry Wilson, all from Germany. Is that? Yeah, Trafford. I said Trafford.
I don't rate Trafford. I think he's awful. But that's just me. I'm a goalkeeper fan, so.
Would you say, all right, then here's a question here. Would you say Trafford is better or worse than Roger Sanchez?
I'm going to go with Sanchez.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. I am not a fan of Sanchez.
May not be a fan of Sanchez, but he's got the experience. He's good with his hands. He's good in the save. Whereas I haven't really seen that from Trafford. I've seen a lot of mistakes from Trafford. I've seen a lot of fumbles. I've seen a lot of mistimed saves that are easy enough to make. His positioning is wrong. His footwork isn't that great. All right, he might prove me wrong at Leeds, but in the time that he's been a professional, I've not really seen it, as a goalkeeper.
Well, maybe he might have a better chance at Leeds here, where he's playing week in, week out, and maybe he might iron out his game, his positioning, and his feet, and that. But I just look at Roger Sanchez, and I think you're a liability waiting to happen. As a defender ahead of you, yeah, I'll be thinking, what are you going to do next? That kind of stuff there, because I've seen this goalkeeper do some.
He's a good player. Tariq's a very good player.
Is that the Romerovich? Yeah, he's a very good player.
Mm-hmm. Nico Alderweireld. Isn't that the one from Belgium? Nico Alderweireld. If I've got that right, is that the kid that's come from Belgium?
But Merrill, that's what's his name? He's a very good player. He is. They've got a good core of a team, Corey. I just think maybe they might take some time to gel together. Maybe might have the same issues as Liverpool had last season, where they've got quite a few signings come in, and it'll just take a bit of time to harmonise.
I have a strong feeling Liverpool's season really did struggle with the late passing of Jota. I really feel that did affect everybody at the club, from the fans to the players to the staff, everybody. So, rest well, Jota. What a incredible young player to be taken in such a tragic way.
Agreed, but then you also have to factor in when you sign a lot of players in a short amount of time. Sometimes it's difficult for them to get an understanding with their teammate.
Sunderland signed 14 last year, and look where they finished.
Yeah, but they're not in the first 22 before the year before that. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Look at Liverpool last season.
Football fantasy.
That's where it came from.
They're meant to be for my son, but he's not here till next Friday, so I'm going to eat them. I'll just replace them next week.
No, it's Haribo.
I need a sugar boost. I've been up since 2 a.m. on the lat.
I can't help that, yeah. I hear that at work, I hear that all the time at work. Haribo! It's like, yo.
Getting my life.
Nah, man. I have to put them out in the morning. That's part of my job.
One falls in the back pocket. Oh, no.
The packet split. Nah, actually... You didn't hear that here on SportSentric here before I get into trouble at work.
Thieving is naughty.
The packet split open. No, I didn't really. But now we'll talk about we'll talk about the M's. Let's talk about Man United. Let's talk about where they're going to be this season. So far, they've signed.
They've revamped some of their midfield, haven't they, with Tillemans and the other kid? I can't remember who else.
From Chelsea.
They're also working again for Belieber.
Yeah, that should be close to happening, Belieber. But yeah, Andre Santos from Chelsea for 20 million, and the one for Tillemans, which was his release clause, was 38.2, I believe it is. I'd like to think it was.
I'll tell you what, if I was Villa, I'd have made that at least 60 mil. That player is so good. I wanted him when he was on a free.
Agreed. He had a fantastic World Cup as well, when you think of Belgium, because Belgium started off slowly and they weren't really, they were dark horses for the tournament. But I felt that he had a strong World Cup and quite a few other ones, that like Charles the Cat had a brilliant World Cup as well. But I'd like to talk about that one. That's one that could have been for me. But I'm looking at Andre Santos. Tillemans would be good to help the players like Mainu and Andre Santos settle. Because Andre Santos is still young. I think he's only 20 or something like that. So it'll help him settle because he's the mature head in that midfield. And
it makes me wonder, though, like with obviously the way Man United are operating now because of Mr. Rich Bastard basically cutting back on everything and saying, right, we're not doing this anymore the way it used to be. We're going to shop around. And back in the day, they used to bully people for their better players. Now look at them.
Yeah, like Fernandez in the summer, that when they first went in for him, and West Ham said 84 million, they were both at the offer and they said, "No, we're not paying that." Man United back in the day would have just paid that. When you think of the likes of Anthony, would have just paid the 91 million pounds for him. So they've reined it back since Ineos has come in. They said, "Now we're not going to overpay on players. We have a certain amount on you." A bit like what Arsenal did with Morgan Rogers, to be fair, where we've got a certain amount allocated for you, but we're not going to pay over the odds for you. And that's a good way of operating if you have if you're in a position to. You can't cut off your nose, but you can't cut off your nose to spite your face in that aspect as well. So Man United lost out on him, but I think the worst thing that Man United missed out on for me has to be Edison from Atalanta. 38 points, 4 million, I think he agreed with.
Wasn't there something in his medical that come up?
That's the one. That's when they said he failed his medical, or what happened. They said yesterday that him finally talked. Edison finally talked yesterday to Atalanta and basically said everything went through, but Man United had cold feet at the last moment before he signed the contract, and that's why they pulled the deal on him and said that was it.
Don't worry, we're getting to Tottenham.
Take your time. We're getting there. Right, now let's talk about
let's do a Jimmy Uso here. Wind it back. Let's go back to Arsenal.
Or we could just do a Jimmy Uso and say, yeah, and let's yeah. But let's talk about Man United. Let's talk about Man City, because we're just talking about Man United. Man United could possibly get a striker yet if Xerxes leaves as well. That's another one that could be around. And they're looking at a left back as well before people say I didn't add that. But they're looking at a left back and a striker possibly before now or next week when the window closes. So there's going to be activity at Man United, I feel, before the end of the window. But Man City, now this one, I see having a magnificent summer in this last week. We're going to see something that we may never have seen before with Man City, because they look like they're having a fire sale right now. They're just about to sell Mamouche, and Sabino to Tottenham Hotspurs. Apparently, Nico Gonzalez is close to joining Newcastle, as a replacement for Bruno Guimaraes. At the start of them replacing Tonali and Bruno Guimaraes, so that's Nico Gonzalez from Man City. You also got Tijani Reinders joining Al Qasr in Saudi Arabia, and then you add
he's only been there a year.
And then you've got Rodri, who's just joined Barcelona. Fantastic signing for Barcelona. We'll touch on
Well, there goes my dream team again. I've lost Cucurella. Now I've lost. There's no one else to pick.
So we're going into it, having been spanked royally by Arsenal in the Community Shield, and now Man City look like they're going for a fight. Once they finish the fire sale, they look like they're going to start on a spending spree. And the first name that's looking at coming in after they bought Elliot Anderson for 118 million, they're looking at bringing in Manu Kone from Roma, and they're looking at bringing in Bawadi from Lille as well.
Bawadi's a very good young player. I like Bawadi a lot.
Agreed. I think he's on his time, but I agree. He's a very, very good young player. He had a very good World Cup as well.
18 years old. He could have either played for France, but chose to play for Morocco instead, which I take a lot of respect for at that age. He could have sat around for ages trying to get to that France team. He assessed his options and went, seeing as I'm also Moroccan, I'm going to go play there instead. Got a lot of respect for the kid instead of just sitting around in the French under-21s team,
Agreed.
He got to play in the World Cup, so...
Agreed. And 18 as well, and made a lasting impression as well, mate. He had a very good game against Brazil. Him and Sabari had a very good game against Brazil. And they had a very good World Cup, to be fair. Especially when you think that Morocco ended up losing to France in I think it was quarterfinals. So they did very well to get to the quarterfinals, Morocco, and he had a very storming World Cup. But £100 million is a lot of money for an 18-year-old, especially when
not him. He's very good, very good. When I look at young players and I go 100 million for him or 40 million for Archie Gray, I'm going with 100 million option.
Yeah, okay. On that one, I agree with you 100%. If it's Archie Gray or it's Bawadi, I know Bawadi's a generational talent. Yeah, I agree with that one. 100%, I agree with that one. If Archie Gray's worth 40, he's worth 100. So yeah, I doff my cap to that one. But when you look at Manu Kone, what a fantastic player, Manu Kone.
Phenomenal player, absolute midfield general. That guy is. He is.
He's a beast in the midfield.
It reminds me of like Patrick Vieira and
Oh.
Petit. He reminds me of Petit and Vieira put together as a player.
Oh, same as that. That man there, pace, power, control in the midfield. He's so dominant. It's very difficult to get the ball off him.
I'm also part French, so I can get away with talking about my other home team. So if the internet doesn't like it, they can suck it.
You know what? Yeah, I feel like putting my French shirt on. To be fair, Vive la révolution.
Parlez-vous français?
Oui, monsieur. But yeah, I love.
Très bien, merci à toi.
I love my French team, and I love watching the likes of. Obviously, you've got Cherki, and Cherki will help Manu Kone settle over here when he gets over here. If he does come to Man City, but I could see them having they're going to have to buy a forward if they sell Mamouche. There's someone to cover Haaland, because Haaland's not going to play all those games. And they're going to have to bring in a winger to replace Savinho. So they're going to
City don't need to replace Savinho. They've got 60 fucking million left wingers.
Yeah, but it's the options, bro. It's always about the options for a big team in it. They still need that fourth choice option in it, unless they bring Grealish back into the fold. But
Grealish was on the bench at the weekend against Arsenal, wasn't he? So I think he's going to be getting back in that City team somehow. But I do feel now that Pep's left, I think City are done in that sense. I don't think they're going to be as dominant as what they used to be.
Well, I think the sale of Rodri will be a massive. Yeah, Bernardo Silva left, but I think the sale of Rodri, I know he wasn't the same player anymore, but that man was a midfield conductor, and him going over. I know Bawad is a very good player, but Rodri's shoes are so big to fill.
Ballon d'Or winner.
Right. Could Bawadi practically do that? That's the question mark that a lot of fans.
They brought Elliot Anderson in, who's a very good player, but I thought it was going to. I literally wanted it. I wanted to see Elliot Anderson and Rodri play next to each other, and I didn't. Oh well.
Well,
I get to see that now.
Well, at the start of the summer, yeah, I said Rodri was in the last year of his contract, and if you're Man City, what would you actually do? Would you let him go on the free next year, or would you would you sell him at a cut price fee? And 60 million is not bad.
That's an exactly cut price, 60 mil. I mean, Ballon d'Or winner, 60 million.
Yeah, but
doesn't sound right, does it? Ballon d'Or winner, 60 mil. Just doesn't roll off the tongue too well, like Ronaldinho the magician, you know, or Ronaldo the original.
Yeah, but the thing about, you know what I love about Rodri, is that Rodri stays quiet and mute, but when you see him play like he did in the World Cup, he was fantastic. He was phenomenal for the way they conducted.
He was standout midfielder of the tournament. He really was, Rodri.
Agreed. And then you think of Fabian Ruiz next to him, and but anyway, yeah, I look at the loss of Rodri and being a massive factor. But then when Pep left, I think a lot of players, like Rodri said, you know what, my time at City is done. I need to get out of here. A bit like Bernardo Silva, I need to get out of here, have a brand new start. Pep's not signing a new contract, so I might as well just go. And it actually gives Maresca a brand new start of a team without Rodri. So he never missed Rodri because he's never had it. But also give him a brand new start and build his own team as well, like with Bawadi, like with Elliot Anderson, like with Manu Kone. So then he can have to build his own
vision.
Team, yeah, it's his team. It's his midfield, basically. And you've got Haaland up front scoring the goals.
Haaland.
Yeah, with a neck. And his sister with the neck as well.
My friend did a really cool 3D printed model of that. It looks fucking banging.
And then he got his what's his name as well. You've got John Stones has gone to Inter Milan. So yeah, they're gonna have to. I think Man City is gonna be a busy. If you're gonna be Man City, if you're if they're
really gonna do it, they should clear out about 6 to 8 of Pep's players and bring in some of Maresca's own, and then sprinkle it around some of the quality that City have.
Yeah,
I mean, if Maresca doesn't achieve at least some sort of Premier League title, FA Cup, League Cup, or something like that with the team that he's got this year, he'll just be made out to be he's a fraud. Although he worked under Pep, he'll be made out to be a fraud.
Ooh. Do you know what? I don't know. I'll give a manager, right, the first season of the manager, I'll give him time because you have to learn the players. You have to understand your team that you're working with. The second season, I would say that's when you have to go and try and win something. FA Cup, League Cup, something like that.
No, but the players that City have, they should be challenging for all titles. Everything.
Yeah, but the question is, Maresca's first season, I'm not sure whether he knows that scored enough, but if he went to the league,
I was just going to say, just look at the Charity Shield match. Arsenal dominated them.
Yeah, true. No, but Slot won the league in his first year. So, but I don't like putting that pressure on the manager. I'm not a big fan of. I'd like to see where I'm set on doing first and then see what he's doing. But you never know with Man City, and Haaland's up front, and with him up front, mate, anything is possible. But let's talk about the biggest sellers of the window. Let's talk about Newcastle. We're finally at Newcastle. They sold their
relegated.
Yeah, they are Corey's favourite for being relegated. Newcastle.
I'm putting a tenner on it. It's 150-1 or something like that at the moment for Newcastle to get relegated.
Yeah, they sold Anthony Gordon to Barcelona. For 70 million.
Barcelona.
They sold Tonali to Spurs, and then they sold Bruno Guimaraes to Arsenal.
Can we have Lewis Hall?
Yeah, Lewis Hall is apparently linked to Man United, but apparently he's not going anywhere. Oh, and to top it all off, Eddie Howe has decided to leave the building as well.
Well, can you blame him? All of his key assets have been ripped out from underneath him. What's he got left to work with? They can't really spend the money. Players don't seem to be wanting to join them either.
Well, yesterday they signed Dedic as a replacement for, let me see, I believe Dedic is a winger for Anthony Gordon. Yeah, so he's a winger. So they replaced Anthony Gordon with Dedic.
He's terrible compared to Gordon. I'm sorry, but I'm sticking that tenner on Newcastle next week to go down before the odds change. But yeah, they've got no one. They've got no one that can score. They've got no one that can really dictate the play. They've lost their best winger. They've lost their centre midfield pairing. What next?
Do you know what? I've been waiting for this video for a little while. I'm going to say this. Yeah. It looks to me as if the owners of Newcastle have had enough.
The rich kid that can't play with their toy. That's what it is.
And that's exactly what I was just about to say. It's like
Mike Ashley got out of dodge there, didn't he? He's like, yeah, come by me. Come get me.
That's exactly what I was just about to say,
Only Harvey Barnes. They've also got the right back that I like. What's his name? Oh, when he was at Southampton. It's going to wind me up. I can't remember his name now. The right back that I wanted when he was leaving Southampton. Can't remember his bloody name. That Newcastle have. No. Names. Huh?
Livramento.
Yeah, Livramento. He's a very good player. I'd have him as backup to Porro. I'd have Lewis Hall as the backup to Van der Ven. There you go. 2 English players. We meet the English quota. Way!
But yeah, when we look at Newcastle, I can see them struggling to score goals. They haven't really replaced it properly. Watermarder is not that kind of prolific forward. He's a very good target.
He was bad in Germany. He's showing how bad he is in England.
Well, he's living up to his reputation. And then they've got Johan Wissa with the pace and power. I do like Wissa. And
yeah, since leaving Brentford, he's not really done anything for Newcastle.
But he was injured then. You have to remember when he came over and started his Newcastle career, he was injured as well for quite a period of time.
Let's just put it this way. The true part of it is Sunderland in that area. Yeah. Sorry, Geordies.
I think we're going to get to
Bradley Laurie's mighty army. Press well, little Bradley.
We could well get into trouble for this one.
I can't stand Newcastle. I have an uncle who's an avid Newcastle supporter, and he's a complete prick. So my dealings with Newcastle is because of my uncle and how much of a prick he is. So that's how I think of Newcastle fans. They're all pricks as well.
Don't worry, Newcastle fans. I'm part Newcastle, then my second team, Newcastle. Not Beardsley. I was actually going to say Tino Espria, actually.
Tino Espria. Well, I mean, not a bad player, I guess.
Right.
We're not going back to the 90s here, Philly.
But yeah, I'm going to write Tino Espria.
Tino Espria.
After watching the man play for Parma, yeah, I'm going to talk about Tino. What a fantastic Colombian he was. One of a generation. These celebrations.
That Batistuta bloke wasn't too bad, was he?
Nah, he wasn't too bad. But when it comes to goal celebrations, take a bow, Tino Espria, because that celebration that he did was something else, man.
What's his name that used to play at Newcastle? He used to do the backflips every time.
The
two brothers that played from there. One of the they played for Brighton and went to Newcastle. Can't remember their names now. The brothers, fucking hell, they're both Solly something. Yeah, it's going to skip my name. It's going to skip my mate thing now. Who they are? They're both shit. We sold them to Newcastle.
Nah, when it comes to Tino Espria, yeah, he has to have one of the best celebrations, man. I'm sorry, that free punch, yeah, the back there.
Paducah.
Yeah. No. He did the backflip. Espria's celebration was something else, man. He did the backflips, bro. What were doing? He was one of the first ones to do it, dude. When he was doing the
come on, the Klinsmann slide. Come on.
No. Next thing I know, someone's going to say the Roger Miller dance in the corner flag, brother. That's that's not what we want to be seeing, guy.
I remember that shit.
Yeah, you're going
for the ladies, mate. You did it for the ladies. Come on.
That's true. He did it for the ladies. That's true. But yeah, when you look at that, Newcastle, yeah, I think they're going to struggle this season. I do.
They're going down. They're going down. Coventry is staying up. Newcastle are going down.
Let's talk about the other ones who went up as well. Then let's talk about
Hull going down.
Straight away. Wow, Hull go down there.
Hull City are going down, man. They're going down.
And
I see him picking up maybe 10 points all season. Hull.
What is it? The lowest record?
It's going to be like 2 wins and 4 draws for Hull all season. That's what I'm going to say.
So you think they'll have the worst Premier League record when they go down at the end of the season?
They're going to beat the Derby record by 1 point.
Oh, wow. Yeah, the league. There's a massive ball from class between Championship and the Premier League. We've seen.
They got lucky to get where they got after the Spygate. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I felt sorry for Middlesbrough in that, actually. Middlesbrough should have won that final, but
I reckon if that was all going on, I think Wrexham should have taken the 6th place, and then Wrexham should have been let in.
I would have loved Wrexham to go up, if they can go up.
Get to see everybody's man crush, Ryan Reynolds, in the Premier League.
Exactly, wearing a Deadpool costume, brother.
Deadpool walking around at the lane and be like, yeah, Deadpool!
No, that would be.
Or is their nickname is Disney FC?
Yeah, that'd be well worth paying the price of admission. But yeah, when you look at Hull City, yeah, I reckon they'll go down as well. And I think the last one was Ipswich, if I'm correct. Ipswich went up as well. Am I correct? Or was it Norwich? One of the Eastern.
No, Norwich were mid-table last year, my friend.
I think
it wasn't Ipswich. I will tell you who it is in a second. Who is it? Is it Coventry, Hull, and it was Ipswich. Yeah, you were right.
Thank you. Yeah, McKenna. Is McKenna still in charge at Ipswich? Or is McKenna left now?
I think he's still in charge. it'd be surprising if he wasn't, because he only just went down last season. No, season before, wasn't it? So Coventry holding Ipswich. Yeah, we got there in the end there, Alf.
You see, I got that one, innit? it? See, now Ipswich,
Coventry and Ipswich that, were first and second, and then obviously Hull got in and got the lucky goal. They should not have won that game. They were outplayed, and they get that lucky goal.
That's a sack.
All right, you got the sack in the end. All right,
we got the sack, did he?
Ronnie, what are you doing?
I see Ipswich as more of a yo-yo team. I think they'll go straight back down again. So teams like
are they the modern day West Ham?
Yeah, I think so. I think they're not. It's too good for
Gary O'Neill. Do we really have to put up with that prick on fucking Match of the Day? No.
Yeah, at least
I can't stand Gary O'Neill. He grates me as a manager.
What do we talk about?
He just grates me. Something about Gary O'Neill. I don't know what it is, but it always fucking winds me up when he speaks. When he speaks, I want to slap him.
Yeah, he bores you to death, I think, Gary O'Neill. But at least he makes it entertaining.
You told me your sentence yet, Gary. Match of the Day's on for another 5 minutes and you're still talking. Shut up.
But let's talk about. We talked about Newcastle. We talked about all the other ones up to that point. So let us talk about Sunderland.
The proper team from North.
That's the one. Let's talk about Sunderland.
Bradley Laurie's Mighty Army.
In Europe as well, Sunderland, because Bournemouth made it in Europe, in the Champions League, I believe, if I'm correct. But yeah, Sunderland are a weird team. They've got a lot of good players. We saw them in the World Cup because they had one of the highest amount of players in the World Cup, to be fair, Sunderland.
Yeah, that's weird, isn't it?
I've
never seen like a team, was it 11 players at the World Cup? I bet that training room was pretty empty around like mid-World Cup. The manager like, where are my fucking players at?
Exactly. Pre-season training, and there's no pre-season because all the players in the World Cup. So there's no pre-season for you, man. You might as well have a week off or something. That's how bad it is. But yeah, when you look at Sunderland, they've got the likes of Talby from last season. You've got the likes of Brian Robbie. And I'm surprised no one's actually gone in for him, to be fair, especially on the back of the World Cup.
He's your old-fashioned striker, isn't he? Like a bruiser, a fighter. He might not score many, but he'll hold the play up, he'll fight for the ball, and he'll push a defender out the way for it. So I like Brobbery for that.
I'd have Brobbery at Tottenham, to be fair, but I'll really get pelters for that in this chat. But
he was pretty decent. He's a pretty decent player. I give him that. But I mean, the players that we're linked to over Brobbery, yeah, sure, thank you.
Yeah, but you need a physical presence in it, and someone to hold on to the ball. Sometimes you're not always going to get that free space behind. You need to have physical presence.
It's not the De Zerbi way with the strength and holding up. It's all quick interchanging, passing, and quick movement off the ball.
Agreed. You need to have that. You need to have that person looking for the spaces to run
pace. You need the pace to play in his system. This is what I was saying earlier on about with Richie and Solanke. They don't fit the De Zerbi system. We'll probably keep Solanke because of the homegrown quota, because it's running very thin right now. But as for Richie, I wouldn't bat an eyelid if that guy left. I wouldn't bat an eyelid if Dom left as well. I mean, didn't want to sign Solanke when we got him. There's a reason why Liverpool and Chelsea binned him off at a young age.
I said it's
because he's shit. Yes.
I said it's like Chesney Hawk Solanke already. I said my piece of Chesney Hawk Solanke already. One good season, one good hit. Both of them.
One good season in 10 years.
Yeah.
At least Richie can find the net. At least Richie can score and has scored more than what Solanke has.
At least the R9 pigeon is fit and more times than that man is as well. Because Solanke, his injury record at Tottenham Hotspur is nothing more than.
I keep saying I think Darren Anderton's left something in the water at the training ground.
Well, or either Darren Anderton, or Lamella's left something in the training ground for him as well, because Lamella was another sick note. So I would say both of them, to be fair.
Good old Daz a sick note makes the rest of us Darrens look bad when we want a day off work. Prick.
But yeah, when you look at Sunderland,
Sunderland.
I think they'll have a good season. Sunderland. I don't think they'll have it as good as last season. But
Well, they've got to try and balance Europe, the league, and the cups. Have they got the squad depth and the quality to cover those positions for that? I'm not sure. For what they did last season, getting 15 new players and have them gel as quickly as what they did, fantastic. Yeah, not a bad season. I mean, World Cup goal, what, the overhead or the volley? Which one?
It's the side. It's the volley against what was it? Serbia.
Sorry, the best goal I've seen scored was by Zlatan Ibrahimovic against England. The overhead kick from outside the box.
I say no more, brother. I watched Italia 90, bro. I watched them.
I was only about 10 when that came around. No.
I watched USA 94, innit?
I would have been 5.
When?
5 years old.
What, Italia 90?
Yeah. I was born 85, so.
Okay. Yeah. And then I remember
41, but
I remember USA 94 and the 3-man contest here of the Barcelona front three, and it was Hristo Stoichkov, Georgie Hadji,
what a player.
And Romario.
Hadji, I loved Hadji. What a player.
And don't forget, Hristo Stoichkov here from Bulgaria was a fantastic player as well. But that was the front three for Barcelona, if you believe it or not. That had Hristo Stoichkov on the right, Hadji just behind Romario, and that was one season, yeah. And I looked at that and I thought that was phenomenal. But that's Barcelona. That's the legacy.
That was when Cafu was starting to come through, wasn't it?
Cafu. This is why maybe I'm a bit strong in the pigeon, because I've got to see so many Brazilian strikers over there. I've been spoiled watching the likes of Romario and him in 94, and watching Ronaldo in 98, and
when you see some of the greats that they've had Brazil, and then you look at Richarlison, I'm starting to think he's Bolivian or something. He just was born over the border at the right time.
Agreed. Or Bolivia, born in Bolivia and then immigrated over to Brazil, man. Or migrated over to Brazil.
His mum went over the border and gave birth. You're Brazilian. You play football.
You're not Bolivian. You're not over there. You stay here.
It's like Owen Hargreaves, isn't it? The Canadian that ended up playing for England. What's football, eh?
And German. Actually, you have to remember, I think Owen Hargreaves was actually part German.
He was German-Canadian, wasn't he?
Yeah, I remember Hargreaves. The only problem with Hargreaves here is that he had an injury at Bayern Munich, and when he went to United, that injury was high.
That plagued him. Yeah, it plagued him.
Massively. That's the sadness of injury. Some injuries, are so massive. It's like
Michael Owen. Could you imagine what would have been without the injury?
Jesus. Yeah, that one at Liverpool finished him. But then Liverpool did the smart thing. They sold him in the summer to Real Madrid. But that injury, knocked him up real bad. It took his pace, and that was the end of it. Once you got off your pace, it's a certain forward, and your pace is your main attribute in it. It's just like you're not the same.
Owen can finish though. It wasn't just the pace, but he could finish it. He could pick a pot. Yeah. He could pick a spot in the goal, and 9 times out of 10, it's in the net.
Yeah, but I'm looking
was phenomenal for what we got to see of him, but the injuries plagued his career. It's like Jonathan Woodgate at Tottenham.
He's a fantastic defender.
Woodgate would have been the next big thing next to Ledley King if it weren't for his injuries.
Agreed.
Woodgate was also at Madrid, mind you, and won stuff. So
and he was at Leeds beforehand. He came through at Leeds, Jonathan Woodgate. Yeah. And playing next to Rio Ferdinand, I believe it was as well.
Wooders and Rio.
So there are players here that injuries just damage their career, kind of finish them off, to be fair.
Oh, just look at the phenomenon, man. Look at Ronaldo. Original R9, not Portuguese wannabe. I love Ronaldo R9, Portuguese boy, but when you're trying to say like who's the best Ronaldo, you just need to go back 30 years. If it weren't for that injury, that guy would have broken so many goal-scoring records.
Oh, I agree.
His breakout season in Brazil alone, where he scored something like 36 in 32 games or whatever it was. Absolute genius of a player. Just a shame that he got injured.
No, I agree with you. What's the thing? Why they have the man, right? They have the manager who has Haaland scoring
Bangers.
Okay. Well, yeah. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's get to the nitty gritty. Let's get to THFC. THFC.
Who are they?
Let's get to
Clinton Stanley.
Let's get there. Right. Corey, you might as well start this one because I think I'm going to have a thing when I do this one.
I mean, our window so far, phenomenal at the moment. I mean, we have cleared out absolute dross that has been holding us back for close to 6 seasons. We've got rid of Romero, who thought it would be funny to jump on a plane and go to Argentina instead of being with his teammates. We got rid of pretty much anyone with a bad attitude. I mean, De Zerbi don't like players that think they're bigger than the club. He did that at Brighton when he first come in. He cleared the deck at Brighton quicker than you can say his name. Mm-hmm. And then he brought in a load of good young players. He brought in Bart Verbruggen, Jan-Paul Van Hecker. I can't remember who else he brought in. He brought in Sissedo. I think it was Sissedo that was under De Zerbi. I mean, he brought in so many good players, De Zerbi, after clearing out the deck that he must have turned around and said to the board when he comes in, right, if I keep you up, I'm clearing this team out and I want to bring good players in. I don't want to play with this. When you're looking at Tonali, Fernandez, who is 21 going on 22, you've got people going, oh, but he's got relegated with 2 teams. Well, look at the players he's had to play with. Like, come on, the kid is absolutely phenomenal. You've got Van Heck, who next to Senesi the last few seasons stats alone show you that they are very good ball progressive playing defenders. Again, fits De Zerbi's system. You got to look at the fact that we're clearing Vicario out. I mean, to send him out on loan with the option to buy, I would have made it an obligation. Sorry, you want him, you pay us next season. You pay us some for us in loan fee, and then next year you can have him for 10 mil. Otherwise, they're just going to get down to the end of it, pay the loan fee, thanks for the year. Now we go out and find another goalkeeper. So we'll only be kicking the can down the road again next year with Vicario.
Of course, man.
Hang on.
Go on, mate. Yeah, I feel so. I feel like they're going to be... all right, let's do some of my topic. Right. When I'm looking at Tottenham Hotspurs, we're coming from a position of being 17th last season and the season before finishing 17th, even though we won the Europa League. We needed to have a massive clear out, and we needed to bring certain players in. I said at the end of last season, I didn't care who went, because you know what, you might have finished 17th, not one season, but two consecutive years. So I didn't really care who left. Romero, was just a highlight because I said, as the captain, you shouldn't be there. I felt that if you are a bad egg, as the captain, then what does that kind of license to give the other players to mess about as well? Because if you can get away with
mess about and do the same shit, that's what it is. Mess about, do the same shit. Let's copy him, and then we'll twerk for a move away. You want those players out the club. Like I said last year. Like game left of the season, we need you as your captain. The boys need you, sharp as a fucking man and a captain. Don't fuck off to Argentina and go and watch some lesser team in a cup no one gives a shit about.
Yeah, not just that, boy, but when you look at the fact that he spoke out about the club, not once, not twice, like 3 times the man spoke out badly about the football club. Mate, do you need to spit on the badge, bro? What is this? When Tottenham needed him and he opened his mouth in February, where we're light on the numbers, and he goes and gets himself sent off. You're the captain, not in a Forest, and you got the likes of Archie Gray on the field, and they need a role model, somebody to look up to, and your captain can't even be bothered to make the run back, bro.
You need a leader amongst men. That's what you need. You need You need players to be there. You don't need players fucking off to the other side of the world to go watch a fucking match no one gives a shit about when our club is the one that needs you.
And so for me alone, yeah, I said last season, even before last season, I said he could have been sold. Last summer, he should have been sold to Atletico Madrid. But at least Atletico got the job done this time.
I'm just happy to see the back of him, especially holding that fucking banner up at the World Cup about the Falklands. Sorry. My uncle served in the war and lost his fucking leg in the Falklands War. So the players that wanted, I know Senesi was there as well, but he wasn't there. He wasn't holding the banner like Romero was.
Appreciation, isn't it? That's what they want to say. Because
I'm sat here like, the fuck, mate. You don't do that. You got to come back to this country, and I'm glad that he's got sold before the fans could see him again.
Well, Enzo Fernandez, I was surprised if he was around there as well, because that man can't give his ass quiet either. There's some bad players in there. But this is Argentina.
Hang on, Alfie, I don't talk shit about the owners since what? I went to the last protest. I have been so anti-Levy, so anti-Enoch for since Martin Jol was sacked. So we're going on, before they changed their ways, 19 years. I never dropped a beat when it come to wanting them fuckers out. They got rid of Levy. Great. Now they started to act like a club. Maybe. But go and get the strikers, please. Just the forward line needs revamping now. We've done the rest of the team, the forwards.
Right, Alfred Bergson, I think it's time that we get this split out of the way. Right. I am not a fan of Enoch, and I have boycotted Tottenham in 2019. And I will not go to Tottenham while Enoch are in charge. I don't care which coach they are. But that doesn't mean that I don't love my club. I love my club so much. Big up Kate Rickman, sending you a virtual hug. But yeah, I love my club very much. And I feel that Enoch undervalued my football club. I think that we are the 9th richest club in world football, and we should get a lot better as fans. And
especially the prices we pay for tickets and season tickets and merchandise. I think we have the most expensive kit this year to buy online on any other team. Do you know who the cheapest shirt is?
Who's that? The left down the road.
My hometown team, Brighton, have £62. £62. Tottenham's kit, they've got two versions of it. They've got the normal one at 95, or they got the premium one at 127.99.
Oh, it's gone up £2. It was 125 last year.
I'm not going to pay 130 quid for a bit of fabric that's going to shrink in the washing machine, especially being Nike and me being a big guy. A 5XL and a Nike is like an XL really for me because I'm a big fat dude. So.
I agree. Well, I agree. Yeah, it is. But yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, I love my club, and I feel that Enoch have undervalued it. And what I'm going to say this year is Daniel Levy was kept in situ by Joe Lewis.
It's not about what Romero did; it's the way he acted to do it. He's done it to basically force the move.
Yeah,
in that sense,
he engineered the move deliberately by causing up a stink. That's exactly what happened.
And I'm glad that stink and that stain has left our club. Well, when people are calling him world class, he's world class. What? Because he won a World Cup with Messi 4 years ago. If you're a world class defender, you need to be like Maldini.
Well, Alfred Bergson's in the chat, and I believe he's an Arsenal fan. Alfred Bergson, would you say Mertesacker, yeah, is world class?
Mertesacker?
Yeah, is he world class?
What about his eyes are offside? His eyes are offside.
Serkan Mustafi, yeah, is he world class? Because both of them, yeah, funny enough, yeah, played for Arsenal. And yet they won the World Cup, Corey. So they must be world class because they won the World Cup, innit? Because they won the World Cup.
Any player that wins a World Cup, so if he doesn't ever play a minute for his country but goes to the World Cup, does that make him world class?
That's it. Right, there you go. You see there? No, there you And that answers your question, isn't it?
Oh, what am I on? Nothing. I'm on oxygen and water like everyone else is.
But yeah, I was talking about Tottenham. Yeah, I came into the summer, just wanting to see these owners put their money where their mouth is. And this summer, they've had to, because we either continue the way we were or get relegated or put the money into it and see where they can go. And that's what they did. And me and Sava talked about this before they even made the first investment. I said, Sava, they're going to throw money at it. And that's exactly what they did. And
well, they come out with a statement, didn't they? For the last God knows how long we've neglected the football side. We've made ourselves a business, but I seem to have neglected the football. Well, no shit. The fans have been telling you close to 20 years. Why is it just taking you 20 years to realise you fucked up?
Like I said to Lubo, I feel like they might fix the place up here to sell it long term. I don't see them having the thing to do it every year, but I can't put my finger on it. But I feel like they're fixing it up here, and in a couple of years they'll sell it for 4 billion. They'll make it the 4 billion or the 4.5 billion, which is what I think is going to be the magic number, and that will be what makes Phoenix sell. But one can only hope. But at the end of the day, all I want is the best for Tottenham Hotspurs.
You know what I want to see? Seeing as Jeff Bezos owns Liverpool, Elon Musk comes in and buys Tottenham. See that rivalry carry on. I would sit there on the sidelines if Musk come in and brought us a laugh, because those two don't like each other.
Yeah, well, Elon Musk would actually, Well, I'm anyone but that rapper. I don't know who that rapper was, that one that apparently bought Levy shares. Yeah, I ain't feeling him too much. Even though you might get concerts.
What's it? You got so many rappers that got like stakes in games. Snoop Dogg has stakes at Swansea.
Yeah.
Well, Snoop Dogg. Yo, man, what up, what up, what up?
I wouldn't say no. Jay-Z took some shares at Tottenham Hotspurs. You know, them ones there. I wouldn't be saying no to that one, man. And he gets free concert every year from Jay-Z and Beyonce. Actually, don't encourage Spurs, man. You didn't see me say that, you know. I don't want to see.
Musk, you hear me? Come and buy Tottenham. It's pocket change to you, mate. 4.5 billion's nothing when you're the richest man on the planet. You make 4.5 million having a shit.
Exactly, that's true.
Or just buy Levy shares and come in and slowly buy the club. Modric as well. I think it's also Snoop Dogg and Modric. What a combo that is. What up, homeboy?
Yeah, I'll go to a Jace. Do you know, I'm waiting for a Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. WrestleMania, brother. When I see WrestleMania, that's when I'm coming down to that
WrestleMania at Tottenham Stadium. Okay. Oh, yeah. I'll join you, mate. I might have to sell a kidney to get a ticket, but I'll be there. I'll sell both. Just have a filter working for the 4 hours each night on a pump. Like
2 nights
after the last match.
2 nights of WrestleMania. 2 nights of WrestleMania. Night one.
We got WrestleMania in Saudi next year. At least it's on at a good time. 6 o'clock in the evening, not 4 o'clock or 1 o'clock in the morning. So yeah, I don't mind WrestleMania being a decent time for us Europeans, you know.
Do you know what I felt there? It felt it started at midnight. Or was that SummerSlam was the same? Midnight, it felt it started over here, yeah. And then it stretched on and on. The first night of SummerSlam was so bad again. At WrestleMania, the second night was so much better.
Chelsea Green winning the title. I mean, yeah, okay. About time someone won it. That's different to everybody else.
True.
I'm sick of the same 4 people holding the belt.
Yeah.
Sometimes when segments come up with certain people, I'm glad I watch it the next day sometimes because I go like that. Skip.
Yeah, I can skip CM Punk. I can skip CM Punk.
CM Punk, yeah, definitely skip. See that, Phil. Bye, Phil.
I'm the best in the world. Yeah, see that one. Roman Reigns. Yep, I see that one already. The Tribal Chief. Yeah, I see that one last year and the year before that.
I like Roman though. I like Roman. We'll leave Roman alone. But he's going to lose. He's going to get the belt off of him. I'm going to say...
big time. Mania?
I don't know. I think it'd be sooner.
You think so? I think it's Mania. I think they're saying for Mania. I think Oba will win, but I think Mania.
I mean, Kevin Owens coming back. I was like, yes, come on, Kevin!
Yeah, but I don't think he'll beat CM Punk, innit?
He's not. not even in Toronto, in his hometown. They don't do hometown things like that for people.
Well, you never know, because what's his name won it. Do you know what I see happening, actually? I see Sami Zayn getting involved in that big time, because there's no way that man I feel got screwed, actually. We'll talk about wrestling on another show before we do that. We don't want to go too far.
This was meant to be football, but...
Yeah, we will talk about wrestling on another show.
Segue
to another show. Right, anyway, we're going to talk about... We're finishing on Tottenham Hotspurs. We're going to say... I am very much proud of what they've done in the defensive department. John Van Hecker is a very good right-sided centre half. You've got Senesi, obviously, as a left-sided centre half, and we've been crying out for a left-sided centre half for a few years. Someone who can chop and change with Van der Ven, even then move Van der Ven up to left back.
I honestly think Van der Ven's going to left back.
I think so.
I honestly think they're going to do the Holland. You're going to have Van Hecker and you can't not have Van Hecker, Senesi, and Van der Ven all in that start. That's without not in that starting 11. I think Robson's going to be I really think he's going to be the backup to Van der Ven.
Yeah, but then you also
honestly think that. I mean, Destiny Udogie, I wouldn't bat an eyelid if he left. He's shite.
Yeah, but he's injured all the time, isn't it? Destiny, he's injured. And with let me see, what's the other one? With Robertson, he's not the same player he was at Liverpool, but he's better than he's more reliable than Udogie, and he's going to put in a lot of the effort, and he'll be good for
my idea with this is we've gone and got Savinho to play left midfield, left winger, right? Mm-hmm. You have Savinho and Van der Ven on that left-hand side. The underlapping and overlapping from them two is going to be absolutely electric, because we're not using Van der Ven properly. He has pace. Mm-hmm. That's the best thing for us, to have someone with pace on that wing, because Porro bombs up and down. Why not have Van der Ven bomb up and down and chop and change around, play about with Savinho? They may move it into the middle, then Van der Ven can come slightly back as Savinho pushes off into that open space. Yeah. I want to see something like that. I don't want to be seeing like Senesi sitting on the bench.
Or we could have the Holland proper left-sided option as Corey, or we could have Gakpo coming in off the left-hand side, because he predominantly plays on the left-hand side for Liverpool anyway, and for Holland he can come and drift on from the left. So if you basically have him on the left-hand side with Van der Ven behind him, then you've got the Holland back, like you've got the Holland left-sided.
Savinho's predominantly played on the left. He is a very good cam, but he predominantly played on the left for Girona.
Yeah, but he can also play both sides.
He could play all across that midfield, but his strongest position is on the left.
Left, agreed. So he'd offer competition for Gakpo.
I was going to say, don't say tell, because that's United day, mate. That's between a sausage roll and a sausage.
Yeah, I'm not even saying tell, because that man there suffers from lack of composure. I've said this for a few years now. Since the loan move and that mystic.
When he first broke out on the scene, I was watching him when he was playing in France. I was like, he's not a bad player for a young kid. Mm. But then Bayern Munich went out and brought him off the fact of a highlight reel. Mm. He didn't break in his 2 years at Bayern Munich. Hardly played. He came to us on loan. Was absolutely diabolical. And then we stuck 40 million down on to keep him. Like, why? And then this year we give Davis a contract extension. He's training to be a coach. No, bye, mate. You can go and do your coaching badges with us, but you're not earning 80 grand a week. Fucking hell, man.
No, but the thing is here, Spurs have been ruthless this year, and I've asked them to take losses in the market and get rid of players, and they've done some of that in Romero and in Spence. But they need to be proper ruthless, Corey. And if Davis is just a coach here, then Davis should just be let go to let him be a coach. But unfortunately, it's more like a charity.
Don't tuck up 80 grand a week. Sorry, it's not on. Like, you're taking up a squad space that we could fill with somebody else.
Right.
And you're taking up 80 to 90 grand a week doing nothing. What a fucking cushy job. Right. I've got a bum knee. I can play in goal kind of now. Oh, Tottenham, I'll do it for 20 grand a week. Hi. I'll be the fourth choice. Hi.
I'll be the ball boy for 10 grand a week, but you know what I mean? But unfortunately,
We see.
it's first become more of a charity year than it has of a football club, in the fact that players are staying here and they stay here way too long. So when Spurs do think about getting rid of them and selling them, we basically take a
They have no value.
massive financial loss. Yeah, because the valuation has been drained away because they've been at
They're
the
like
club
that
for
skid
too long.
mark in your favourite pair of pants that just won't wash out.
That's the one.
Shit
Yeah.
stain on the underwear of life. Like, I didn't want
Yeah,
Davies
that's
10
never
years ago. I didn't want him 10 years ago. There were better options out there, and we went to Swansea. Cheers.
Yeah, I agree. It was, and for 10, well, it's not even 10 years anymore. It's 12 years since we had Ben Davies. That's not bad. You're like 12 years, man. You've never been a first team player. How would you still?
That's like being in an abusive relationship with him, isn't it?
Again, and one
Mark,
big
which
up
one?
Cookmeister.
Cookie.
Big up Cookmeister. Hope you're well, my friend. I will join you for the deadline day special, mate. I will unleash the beast on deadline day properly for you.
We need a Harry Redknapp kind of like transfer deadline day, don't we? We need that again. They need to see up on those yellow light, like yellow writing on the TV. Tottenham have signed.
But yeah, do you know what? Before the forwards come in, Corey, I would have called this window a 5. When the forwards join, it will be an 8. I still think Spurs are lacking a 10. So I still think they're going to suffer from lack of creativity because I don't trust Maddison to be able to stay fit. And similarly, there's no telling how much or how long if he ever gets back to that player again, or how long he does to get back his full fitness and match fitness in that. So that's going to take time. He might not even come back this season the same way. So I'm looking at a 10.
I don't ever listen to
feel like we need a right back as well. Archie Gray going to be playing a right back as it looks now because we haven't bought a right back.
I would have left him right back at home, to be honest with you.
Right.
Fucking
and that's my issue, is that when I saw him at right back in his first season, and I watched Poku, who was at, let me see, Alkmaar, when we played them.
He absolutely rinsed him.
He rinsed him and he had him on toast. And I looked at that and I thought, at right back, you're going to be...
Mikey, I think Mikey's staying on loan until after the Brentford match, because I think that's when they're trying to get in the other players. But for me, this transfer so far without the strikers, I would have given it a 5 at a push.
Agreed.
Right, I agree with the players that we brought in. It was more the players that we needed to get out, and we still need to get them out.
Yeah.
We need to get rid of Sarr, Bergvall. Sorry, I don't rate Destiny Adoji. I don't rate Vicario anymore. When we first got Vicario, I was like, yes, knocks a bad goalkeeper. What's a good price to get him at? But fuck, man, he's been terrible. I mean, he's come from a slower league to the Premier League and struggled. And what really did it for me was that mistake last year against Fulham.
Yeah. See, I was not a fan of Vicario already. And I know he came in with a lot of guff because there was talk about Buffon apparently saying that he was one of the best goalkeepers to come out in Italy, which is what I don't believe in. There's a lot of ex-players here know just as much as fans do. And it's quite renowned as well. Some ex-players know just as much as fans do when it comes to players.
But when it comes to Kingsley, I will trust Petr Cech's judgment on that one.
Well, that's your figure. But for me, yeah, when I listen to Buffon, but players also
really? I can understand why they're going to be playing at Chelsea Stadium on the border, blah blah blah, safety, blah blah blah. Yeah, I get that.
But yeah, back to Tottenham Hotspur. I think it's more about when we started this window, Corey. Yeah, you and I and everyone knew what Spurs needed. You needed a left winger, you needed a striker, and you needed a right winger / left winger because Kudus was out, and you needed to have that option of having width on that side. So you knew what you needed at the start of the window.
At the start of the window, I said we need 2 centre-backs. We got them.
Yeah.
Right. I said we need 2 left wingers, 2 right wingers, because I would happily sell Kulu for £1. because I think the guy's had it now with his injury.
I agree with that.
He's sticking balls in at the training ground. Well, it's all well and good doing it at the fucking training ground, but what about actually in a match?
Right, do it on the match day.
You're taking up a foreign place. You're taking up a wage. So, bye-bye, mate. See you later. Thanks for the 2.5 years before your injury. I was getting gone. I would just chop Odebert's contract. I'd be like, look, mate, you're crap. We can't get money for you and you're injured. Right. So we'll pay you for the rest of your contract. And then when you're fit, you can find your own club. Well, I'm not going to miss nothing on the £20 million player that's done fuck all. Well, Tell I would sell for half the price of what we got him from just to get him out the door. Then I would look at Savinho, Gakpo, and Mamouche. And then I'd find players to play behind them three.
Right. I'm going to, you know what? I'm going to go against myself here a little bit. And I'm going to say Tell. Tell is very much a moments player. He's very much one of those players that, individual moments of matches.
Sorry, Leeds, we're 1-0 up. Why are you doing a bicycle kick? All right. It wasn't great that Richarlison fucked up the header out. But at the same time, you shouldn't be doing an overhead kick in modern day football to try and clear it because it's going to be classed as 5 foot. I
agree. His lack of composure is worrying. I've always said
he scores a goal and then he sacrifices us 2 points. So that's when I went off Tell. Sorry, I just didn't rate him when he was on loan. I didn't rate him when he moved to. When Bayern Munich picked him up, I was like, yeah, he's a good young player, but is he really that good? He was good in France. And then most players can look good in France.
No, I agree with you on Tell. I agree with you on the fact that, he's very much one of those players here that he suffers from lack of composure, a bit like Bradley Barcola in that aspect, is that they suffer from lack of composure. They're not really composed in front of ball.
I don't think it's not composure. I think it's a lack of footballing IQ. That match at Leeds, 3 passes he could have put off to players in better positions to score goals. He took 3 shots.
Agreed. His crossing ability is another one I question, man. How many crosses does he get right out of 10? If you crossed it once out of 10, I'll be surprised that he gets it out. But he'll get one of them over and it will hit. The other ones will go wherever it lands. And that's for me, another question mark about Till. But I just look at, when I say composure, Corey, the penalty against PSG in the Super Cup final, I always felt he was going to miss. The one against Wolves last year, in his first, when he was on loan, when he snatched the opportunity, it was just like, mate, you've got like a brain fart going on up in there. It's like,
a brain fart. There's nothing up there, my friend. A brain fart requires some sort of process.
But it was like, mate, you got a brain fart kind of thing there. It was just like, my man shot the ball, and it was near enough. It was hard to miss than it was to score, and he blazed it over the bar, and I was like, mate, you're finished. You can't be like doing that. And even though I dig up the cookie, I said it this morning, players' ability, a man's can only take you so far, but it has to be the player's ability at the end of the day on the football field. Yeah. And they have to be accountable for what they do on the football field, because a manager can't go on the football field, they do. And for Tell, I don't think a manager is going to help him get his composure. He has to find that himself. You know what I said, which was funny the other day? I said, I'd hate to see him talk to a woman, man. If you've got lack of composure and you talk to a woman, you're kind of finished, you know what I mean? Because that woman there will be looking right through you. Like, so I would not want to see him going out.
Through you like glass, my friend. You're so transparent.
But, let's talk about... So Tottenham Hotspurs, we'll finish with Tottenham, and we're going to say
the new channel mascot.
Oh, well, Sam was
the cutest, ugliest little dog going.
Yeah, but what I was going to say this season, I didn't want to put a position on Spurs, as you know. I said 16th would be a blessing, considering where we came from. Any position is a blessing. I'm not putting the Spurs to get Champions League. And
I'll be happy with Europa League.
Yeah, I'll be happy with any.
Anywhere between 6th and 8th, I'll take, because it's better than fucking 17th.
That's exactly it. And it's taking your time. This is a long process to get back up there, because we have to remember there's a loads of teams that have passed us. and we are playing catch up from 17th. So I'm keeping my powder dry, as Sabah likes to say. I keep my powder.
Like we're in a three-legged race, but we forgot to tie our feet.
That's the one. So I'm gonna say, I'm looking at us now. I'm looking at 8th, 9th. The forwards still about the same, 7th or 8th.
If we get Mamouche, Gakpo, Savinho's done. I know that much. But if we get both Mamouche and Gakpo, yeah, I see it being very interesting this season. And you're getting people going, but the lack of GA, the lack of this, the lack of that. You do realise Mamouche has to play behind Haaland. Erling Haaland. One of the top 5 strikers in world football.
Well, that's what you found out in the world.
Look at Savinho, who has to play behind Shirky, Doku, Semenyo. Do I need to keep listing the plethora of riches Man City have in the wings?
No, but it's like Spurs are not. Spurs are not Man City.
It's not Sabio, it's Savinho.
Spurs are not Manchester City. Spurs are not Liverpool. While those teams, while them teams, opponents of those teams set up here to try and reduce the gap and push and basically sit back with a low block and make them break them down. So there's no space for wingers to run at the man. But at Tottenham Hotspurs, you're going to get green grass in front of him. Savinho should be having a field day with that, because teams are going to sit off us and allow the space to run at him. And that's more Savinho's game than it is that Man City, where there's no space in front of him.
Look at Savinho's first season at City. Look at his breakout season at Girona. He had space to run into.
Right. At Tottenham, they'll have that space and that license.
Valeria. It's like Ronaldo's original name isn't Ronaldo. He's got about 20 names. So you'll see Ronaldo Costa de Sala de something, blah, 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 de Silva.
Man, I think Raul had the best name out.
All Brazilians are going to end up adding those extra letters like Ronaldinho, Ronaldo, Savinho.
Not this Brazilian ones, my friend. I told you, Raul, was the Spanish number 10, isn't it? One of the legendary number 10s, Raul. But his name, is Raul Gonzalez Martinez. That is his full name, And it's like, wow, you got 3 different names, and there's a third one as well.
Put that on a shirt. How much that would sell for? We're going to use all the letters, so we get more of this.
Yeah, instead of 4, I put it 4 letters. Yeah, just Raul. It's Raul.
Zidane. Carlos.
But we had Beckenbauer. Do you know what? Cookmaster, I wanted to come on actually, Cookie, through this in the chat, and we'll have a proper renaissance here from back in the day, where we could talk about old school strikers.
Camera focus.
Oh yeah.
Camera to focus. Focus. There we go. No, don't focus. Too much focus.
But we're going to end this show here. While we're having a laugh and a joke with you people, we're going to end it here on this note. So thank you very much for tuning in, everybody.
We're hitting the end of days on the stream.
Yes, we have. But we will come back and we will do more. And hopefully Corey is going to join me and do some BMGT as well. So we can talk about
now the season's here. I don't do pre-season shit.
Neither do I. But we do like having a
pre-season.
But we do like having a laugh and joke on this channel. So smash that like, subscribe and hype, and get over to my brother, the 2 Marks, Cookmeister and the Sheriff, and smash a like and subscribe to those 2 over there. And I'll be joining them on deadline day for a SportSentric 2 Marks collaboration on deadline day. And thank you very much for tuning in. Corey, any words you want to say before you leave?
No, not really. Come on, you Spurs.
Hey, well, there you go. Come on, you Spurs.
Short and sweet.
Right, bless that one, man. Oi.